Hello, I'm Acebane,
Hey guys, I'm Slave.
and we'd like to introduce to you a new MMO that's currently being developed called Embers of Caerus.
Yes, Embers of Caerus. It's a low fantasy sandbox MMORPG that is being developed by Forsaken Studios.
Forsaken Studios is comprised of gamers who wanted to create their dream MMO after playing so many MMOs over the years.
Now, the development of EOC is going smooth. They've already surpassed their Kickstarter goal of 25,000. They're gaining more supporters every day. I think they were able to get a backing of a total amount of 46,000.
That's almost double the donation goal they set. That goes to show how much support and momentum Embers of Caerus is picking up.
I mean, their community is growing. Developer slash player interaction on the forums, the constant hard work from the devs. EOC can only get better, guys.
So, let's talk about how good EOC is already. EOC is a sandbox MMO that is unique in the fact that it doesn't focus on one type of player.
Right. Previous sandbox games, they've been too focused on PvE crafting or PvP exclusively. But EOC wants all those type of players to mingle together in the same world, enjoying the game in their own way.
Yeah, there's endless possibilities of what role you could play in EOC. Say, a blacksmith,
Priest,
a tavern owner,
mercenary,
a hunter,
sailor.
or even an ill-fated magi. That's right, ill-fated, because Embers of Caerus, the world has recently suffered an apocalypse caused by magic.
Yes, magic, it's unstable. It can cause harm to the wielder and innocent bystanders. So now it's taboo to wield magic, and magi will often be hunted.
Yeah, in the first months of the game, players will be banding together with those of their chosen faction to rebuild cities and re-establish civilization that was all brought to ruin by the apocalypse.
Now, there will be 4 continents. Aldernach, to the north home, the frozen tundras, dangerous mountains, undiscovered caves. Upawonga, I think that's how you pronounce that, I'm not sure. To the east, it's tropical rainforest, vast jungles, tribal spirits.
Right, and you have Valadonia. It's to the west. There's green fields, rolling hills, buckets of rain, and stone cities. And then Cataroth, to the south, home to the hottest deserts, sand dunes, and mysterious lost artifacts.
Yeah, and all of these continents are surrounded, obviously, by ocean and the harbors. A great many islands, even unmarked on the map itself.
Tomes, secrets, treasures, and knowledge to magic are all scattered around the ancient world. It's up to the player to discover or hide such things from other players.
Okay, by now you're all thinking, that's great and all, but what exactly are the features of this? And we'll just jump right into it. Just note that everything is subject to change.
Alright, first up, EOC is a medieval low fantasy MMO that draws its inspiration from the medieval ages. The world is only slightly tainted by magic and influenced by deities.
Right. It's going to be a levelless and classless character advancement system. You'll master your skills, your playstyle, often opposed to being limited by artificial roles and restrictions.
The world will be absolutely huge, persistent, and on one massive server. It's approximately 44,000 square kilometers. A world this huge allows for hundreds of treasures, dungeons, resources, wars, castle construction, and settlement creation.
It really is going to be a living, breathing world. It's got a dynamic ecology. There will be migrating animals, roaming bandit gangs, and even relocating immigrants.
Yep, there's going to be dynamic weather and seasons, each continent presenting different climates and weathers to overcome. With each season, the weather changes as well, all across the world.
Yeah, you got rich lore, influence storylines. There is a main plot in this sandbox with many subplots and quests to affect the world we all inhabit.
And there's even going to be a dynamic event team, which is much like a board game dungeon master who can make interesting things happen to the world, such as having a meteor crash into a mountain, which unveils an ancient city ruin in which players can explore and find ancient artifacts.
Now, it is an immersive first-person view. With first-person view, you'll be able to become fully immersed. I love the first-person view type of games. You'll see and experience the world as your character would, as you would.
Yep. There's going to be skill-oriented combat. You're going to fight against players, wild animals, or even mythical beasts, all through player skill. Is not going to be dependent on your character level, age, or what gear you're using.
Yeah, now it's going to be pretty hardcore, guys. You got full loot PvP combat, which means when you die, they get to loot your stuff, and that's it. Wars and battles between players are started by actual player conflicts and interests. So beware of the consequences. No matter the reason for fighting, there will be loot either to gain or to lose.
Yeah, and not only do you lose your gear, but death in general hurts the player to begin with. You also take time to recover from your wounds. There's both a long-term stat loss and temporary stat loss.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to have a dynamic naval system. Wind, waves, storms, they all affect the ability to sail, which is awesome if you're a pirate enthusiast like me. You'll be able to man the ships, raise the sails, roll oars, fire weapons, or just, set sail and explore the oceans. But beware, because terrors do lurk below.
There's going to be realistic siege warfare, which takes time. Building siege camps, besieging keeps, castles, fortresses, cities, and more with siege engines and tactics. Provisions are going to be required on both sides, so cutting their supply lines and starving them out is a completely viable option.
Oh yeah, you got territory control, you got, you can claim, conquer, and manage the lands, resources and cities, and, you got to fight to protect your assets or expand your territory control.
Yep, and all of this territory control is driven by the player-controlled political and legal systems. You can set the laws in your lands, hire guards in your cities to enforce them. You can negotiate, forge alliances, create lease agreements, and more with all in-game tools.
Yes, and it will have player housing and city building. So like I said, you'll be able to acquire land, build a home, or start a town center, which potentially could grow into, the trade hub of the nation.
Speaking of being the trade hub of the nation, all of it's going to be controlled by the players, including the market and economy. Almost every item is either created or supplied by the players. Invest in resources, goods, or even the businesses themselves. Be the richest merchant in the land.
Yes, and an extensive crafting system. You'll be able to gather resources, you got to turn them into usable goods. You're going to have to create exceptional pieces, which the cost at a higher price, or manage a workshop which mass produces goods for cheap.
Yep. And there's going to be a unique and challenging magic system. Now, magic is extremely rare and powerful in this world. Only those who are truly dedicated can discover and learn how to harness magic. Learning to become a magi requires reading of books, finding tombs, artifacts, and experiencing supernatural events that aren't going to be common to all the other players.
Yes, and also player-influenced and created religions. So you'll be able to create your own religion, or, gather support and will your deity into existence. Or, just set out on a quest to resurrect an old god from their eternal grave.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, there's dozens of professions. Choose whether to specialize in a single profession or spread your efforts across many, ranging from crafting, farming, gathering, alchemy, engineering, and many more.
With so many possibilities at players' fingertips, it's understandable that Dave, technical director of Forsaken Studios, likes to think of it as a medieval life simulator, light.
Yeah. The vision of this game is to have a living and breathing world in which the players create and influence a world that NPCs live in, not the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, the story of Caerus is, from this point on, it is in the hands of the players, in the hands of us guys. So, legends, heroes, murderers, kings, magi aren't made but forged by hardships and adventures.
This is the MMORPG we've been waiting for. One where you could actually make a difference in the world that is visible to all. So what are you waiting for? Go join the EOC forums and community.
Put your 2 cents in, guys. Encourage developers to keep working hard on this amazing game.
With that said, Saleth and I would like to thank you for watching, rating, and perhaps tuning in next week into our new series, Inside the Embers. We're creating this series where we will go into much greater depth of each individual feature every week with added discussion.
Yeah, so go ahead and post comments, guys, about what next week's topic should be about, or what do you want to know more about.
Make sure to check out the massive amount of links in the description for more infos on Embers of Caerus. For this week, the question to you viewers is,
what profession or role would you want to play in Embers of Caerus?
alright, until next time guys.